Arsenal are built different. And what I mean by that is we've seen in the two games this season 6 points, 4 goals scored, 2 clean sheets, masterclasses from Saliba, creative passages of play from Bukayo Saka and Leandro Trossard. And Arsenal look a different outlet and a different side to last season. I know it's early doors. We're only 2 games into the season, but we're going to talk about the last 2 games for Arsenal and look forward to the next 3 or 4 games because they play my team, Tottenham, in the North London derby. And say what you will, they've beaten us twice in the last 2 games, but that could be a massive turning point early on in the title race because the following week they play Manchester City away. So we're going to get into it. If you're new to the channel, please do go down, hit that subscribe button. We had over 150 new subscribers from yesterday's video, and still something like 89% of everyone who watched yesterday's video was not subscribed. So what are you waiting for? Get down, hit that subscribe button. The road to 25k is well and truly on. And you know, it's absolutely incredible. The light game yesterday was absolutely ridiculous. We hit 1700 likes. If we could hit 500 likes in this video, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Now, I predicted a 2-1 win for Arsenal. And the week before, I think I predicted a 4-0 win for Arsenal against Wolves. Now, moments of that game, we saw Arsenal under the cosh. Villa were really, Rodgers, I think, had a fantastic game. And Villa were really knocking on the door, taking the game to Arsenal and really trying their utmost to score. We saw an absolute worldie save from David Raya. We saw, an absolute sitter from Ollie Watkins missed. We saw a lot of new parts to Arsenal, new strings to their bow, sorry. Now, when you look at Arsenal's fixtures coming up, because I want to look at Manchester City's fixtures as well. Manchester City in the next 5 games play West Ham away, Brentford, Arsenal at home, Newcastle United away, and Fulham at home. Now, you'd expect City to beat West Ham, Brentford, Newcastle, and Fulham. Now, Arsenal have got a tough run of games coming up in the next 4 to 5 games. They've got Brighton at home, Tottenham away, City away, and then, of course, they've got Leicester and Southampton at home. Now, let's be honest. You would expect Arsenal to blow away Leicester, Southampton. I think they'll beat Brighton convincingly. And Tottenham, well, form goes out the window, but they could easily put 2 or 3 past us. But it could also be a very cagey game. They were 2-0 up or 3-0 at one point last year. We brought it back to 3-2, and it was a cagey last 10 minutes. But we've seen from Arsenal in these 2 games, when they've been under the cosh, they limited Wolves to 3 shots on target. David Raya makes an absolute worldie save. Then you look at the Aston Villa game. 3 shots on target again. David Raya makes another worldie save. We're seeing Arsenal now be under the cosh defensively. And we're seeing the game management is a lot stronger this year from Mikel Arteta. Bringing on the likes of Leandro Trossard when he did. Inverting the likes of Timber when he did. Those 2 tactical changes won Arsenal that game yesterday. And I don't think enough people are really giving the praise and the props to Mikel Arteta, because I've said this for a number of times now. Gabriel Martinelli, for whatever reason, does not look himself, and he's been far too inconsistent to be relied on at the moment from Mikel Arteta. When he brought on Leandro Trossard, he's a lot more direct. Martinelli is the fastest player in the Arsenal team. But whenever he gets the ball, he doesn't look like he wants to run it. He's fullback. He looks nervous for whatever reason. Now, the likes of Leandro Trossard, when he come off the bench, it was a game changer. He's running it. He's fullback. He's putting low crosses across the box. He's getting in danger positions. He's getting on the score sheet. I look at Martinelli now. I don't think he, at present, should be starting for Arsenal. And look, of course, it's a squad game. Arsenal have got Champions League football, League Cup football coming up. in a couple of weeks, FA Cup in January. Rotation is going to be very, very important. But the front three going into the Brighton game, I'm going to bring up what I think the lineup should be. Thomas Partey obviously got on the score sheet. At times, Rodgers was really taking the game to that Arsenal midfield, and they were struggling at times. And that's okay. You're going to struggle at times throughout the Premier League season. This is absolutely normal for a team like Arsenal, because everyone is going to be on the top of their game now when they're trying to play Arsenal. It's like when everyone tries to play Manchester City. It's a different mindset now, because Arsenal are challenging for a league title. Now, against Brighton, I think Zinchenko probably will come back into the team. I think in this sort of game, I think you may see the introduction of Mikel Merino, or you could still see Thomas Partey. And let's not forget, Edu has told Arsenal fans that you will see and be very, very happy for the remainder of the transfer window. We've got around 5 or 6 days. You probably will be happy he come out and said that you'll be happy with what Arsenal have got planned. I do personally think Arsenal need to bring in a forward for the remainder of the window. I'm going to bring up what I think the next game of Arsenal's lineup should be, because I think, Zinchenko, I think, will come back in. I think you'll see your same back three: Gabriel, Ben White, Saliba, and this is what I think the lineup will be. I think Mikel Merino will come into the frame, and I think you will see Declan Rice and Odegaard, or you could quite easily see Thomas Partey start and Mikel Merino come off the bench. I think you'll see Zinchenko start in the big games away from home, up against the techie, tricky wingers, the Spurs aways, the Man United's aways, the Liverpool's aways, the City's aways. I think you'll see a more defensive-minded fullback come in, whether it's Timber, whether it's Calafiori, Kivior, Tomiyasu. But that for me will be the lineup against Brighton. If it's not the likes of Mikel Merino, it will be Thomas Partey. I think overall, at times in the game, he struggled yesterday, but when it mattered, he took his chance. He took the pressure off his team. He scored his goal. But I think you're just seeing a different Arsenal this season. I don't think you're going to see like an Arsenal where you're scoring 5 or 6 goals in a row for 5 or 6 games. You may see that, but I think you'll see a lot more of a defensively sound Arsenal, focusing on game management, focusing on looking after that lead. Defensively, they look absolutely brilliant at times. The strongest defense in the Premier League by a country mile. And when you look at that centre-back pairing of Saliba and Gabriel, Saliba yesterday looked an absolute machine. The recovery to get back and win the ball off Jacob Ramsey, he's absolutely brilliant. He really is. He's one of the best centre-backs in the world, probably top 2 centre-backs right now. But I think Arsenal, you're going to see a different Arsenal this year. I think game management is going to be very, very, very important. Now, when you look at I was looking at their fixtures coming up. Of course, the Champions League starts next month as well. I do think personally, Arsenal will beat Brighton. Arsenal will beat Leicester. Arsenal will beat Southampton, Bournemouth. Let's look at their next 7 games. In that time, they play Spurs, Liverpool, and City. Now, fortunately for Arsenal, they get the City game and they get the Tottenham game away from home out of the way early. We saw Arsenal. We saw the best from them in terms of their in-game management. We saw the best of them in terms of defensively. We saw the best of David Raya. But they were under the cosh a lot yesterday, but they dealt with it. Brighton, I think they blow away. Leicester, Southampton, and Bournemouth, I think they blow away. I think they do beat Liverpool, but it's going to be a lot closer game than people are anticipating. The North London derby, who knows which Tottenham are going to turn up. Tottenham looked very good yesterday, blowing Everton away 4-0. Looking really good in their transition. We saw the best of Van de Ven and Romero. But that City game, if they can get past Spurs with 3 points and beat Brighton, of course, there's an international break after Brighton. Saturday's game, early kickoff. Of course, Arsenal will want to start another 3 points. But if they can get past that game And if they can go to the Etihad and beat Manchester City, I've predicted Arsenal to win the league on my predictions. Of course, now Manchester City have brought back Gundogan. Manchester City looked very, very good yesterday. You know, they've scored 6 goals. They're under, you know, under Guardiola. They look a different beast all the time. But, you know, the fact that Erling Haaland's got 4 goals in 2 games already, Arsenal don't have someone like that. But I think when you look at goals scored for, that goal difference is going to be very, very important. And Arsenal's goal difference, if they can keep the amount of clean sheets throughout this season, which they did last season. If you look at last season's goals, I think City got more goals, but Arsenal's conceded 5 or 6 less. There you go. Look, it was down to 2 points. You know, City might score more goals, but Arsenal will definitely keep more clean sheets. And the goal difference is bang on 62. You know, I think Arsenal are going to have a very, very, very strong season. That Champions League format is going to be completely different this year. 8 games in the group stage. Then you got last 16, quarterfinal, semi-final. But I personally believe, you know, Arsenal have got a strong enough squad to rotate between Champions League and between Premier League and League Cup. Let me know your thoughts down below. How do you think Arsenal will get on against Brighton? There's a couple of good Premier League games today. We've got Liverpool up against Brentford, and a game I expect Liverpool to blow them away. Wolves up against Chelsea and Bournemouth up against Newcastle. Depending on the reaction to the Brentford game, I may do an instant match reaction. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel. The road to 25,000 subscribers is well and truly on. So, and if we get it 500 likes, that would be absolutely glorious. Thank you all for watching. I am out.